Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hush Hallows, a Monster of the Week story here on Dice Priori. We are back for episode 19 of this lovely little Powered by the Apocalypse game set in, I believe, Ty's little creation of Hush Hallows. Before we get started, just a couple quick channel announcements. Mothership is coming to Community Theater on October 18th. That's a Sunday now, dears, not a Saturday. So be sure to check that out. That's going to start on 12 p.m. noon and run for about 6 hours. just going live. That is a horror space themed game, its own custom system, and they're going to be playing with different folks from the community. Liz is going to be running that, so be sure to check that out. That's October 18th. That's a Sunday, starting at 12 p.m. noon CDT. Big Boy season wrapped up last night. If you missed the series finale, be sure to catch the VOD. It's pretty cool. Ends in a very dramatic way and was pretty baller. We'll be playing, you'll see me running with those lovely folks. I'll keep running for them on Monday nights using different systems and different games. Be on the lookout for that. That'll still be on Monday, starting probably at the same time, 9:30 p.m. CDT. Tomorrow, Tales, we got so much going on now. It was that, can't stop us. Tomorrow, Wednesday, 7 p.m. CDT, we're going to be doing Tales of Gashari, which is the way we're going to be conducting a system search for Ghost in the Machine. These are going to be in-canon stories taking place in the same world, in the same campaign, the same year. That Ghost in the Machine takes place. The next system tomorrow is going to be Strike. We're going to be playing the scenario Trouble in Hogtown. It's going to be a really good time, so be on the lookout for Tales of Gashari. On Wednesday, 7 p.m. CDT, as we approach the rebirth, the reimagining, the reconstruction, the rebuilding, the reconfiguring of Ghost in the Machine. That's the channel stuff on my end. Take it away, Maria.
Hello, I'm Maria. I use they and she pronouns. I can be found on the internet at Happy Capster, most everywhere. And tonight I am playing Hektor Bartholomew, who uses the Mad Scientist playbook, and is one arm short of a mad scientist right now. And I shall pass it to Emma.
Hello, I'm Emma. You can find me at MK Hansen on Twitter. And tonight I am playing Lucy Doe, who uses the Monsters playbook. And she is here for all of your grim and death needs. And that's me, Alexis.
Hello. I'm Alexis. You can find me at Fox Fanato on Twitter, as I also am Carmen San Diego tonight. I use she, her pronouns, and tonight I will be playing Darlene, who uses the Hex playbook and is a blood witch. He also uses she, her pronouns. Big channel announcements on my end. Dice Priori and Grim Femmes have been collaborating, and with our little production we call Twitchy Halloween this season, and Em and I have put that into full swing as of this past Friday. We did our first installment of our watch party series called Grand Hag's Watch, where Emma and I convene to provide some critique with a femme perspective on some horror films. We got off to a rocky start because Twitch Prime decided that they weren't going to have a lot of the movies that we had on our list originally, so we had to fly by the seat of our pants and make some adjustments, but we will be bringing to you some spooky content in the form of Grand Hag's Watch, a little bit sporadically because schedules are a thing this year, but pay attention to our socials and to Discord. Likely days are Saturdays and Thursdays, so pay attention to that. Additionally, this Friday, we are premiering a limited series, a TTRPG using the Heart system that Emma and I will be co-GMing, and it is called It is called Hallowed Hearts. It is going to be very grim and very strange, very dramatic. So make sure to hop your popcorn and prepare your cauldrons for Friday as we engage in a story of witchy sisterhood in a very grim world. It's going to be very good. I'm very excited, and our players will be, because Emma and I are co-GMing, we will also be playing, and as will Maria and Val, who a lot of you are familiar with, but we haven't had on the channel yet, so we're very excited. So pay attention for announcements on that. That will be at 7 p.m. Central Friday. That's all from me. Bye. Ty?
I'm Ty, I use he, him pronouns, and I am your keeper for this evening and all evenings in Hallows. You can find me at Ballroom Brawler on Twitter, and last week's episode, we saw the introduction of Martha, played by Matthew Foreman, aunt, who is an expert, enjoying an Oktoberfest festival in Wisconsin before getting the call from Oak and arriving in Hallows. While Hektor spoke with Ernest Honeycutt and went out to the woods trying to find some evidence of the meat tree, but fell in the giant hole instead, where Hektor's arm was ripped off by unseen force. Hektor managed to leave, and the agreement was taken to a hospital. Eventually let out with Martha after she came and introduced herself, Darlene and Lucy. And Ernest Honeycutt made a deal with Hektor to kind of brush his former problems under the rug in order to, if he was given some sort of supernatural weaponry created by Hektor to protect himself from the unknown. And when we left off in Martha's Mercedes-Benz, Lucy, Darlene, and Hektor and Martha were all headed to Nana's Fat Slaps. It is midday in Hallows, sun reflecting off the Mercedes-Benz of Martha Williams. As it starts down the single dirt road into Nana's Fat Slaps. As you approach, you see a small pile of lumber next to the car hole in the front-facing wall, which construction has apparently begun on. As some of this hole is now more filled than previously.
Where is the construction happening?
In the car hole.
The hole that was left.
The large car-shaped hole that was once a front door.
Okay. So it is on Nana's.
Yeah.
Who's paying for that?
I mean, money doesn't exist in this game, so I don't think it matters.
So you.
Yeah.
Did we hire someone?
Yeah, you were not there. It was Brogy had a friend in construction who agreed.
Oh, perfect. All right. Good on you, Brogy.
Taken care of.
What do y'all do? Sitting right in front of the front door.
Oh, that's nice. That's getting fixed.
Your headquarters doesn't have a door.
It's just a bigger door, and
It used to have a door.
walking through the hole, the big door, the really big door, the hole.
You walk in, there is still spilled mimosa on the floor, upturned bowl, everything else left as is.
I'm gonna be downstairs if anyone needs me. And I'm gonna go downstairs to start fixing myself.
Is that where the library is?
Oh, yeah, if you want, you can come with and peruse.
Yes, that's where I'll be too.
Okay, and I will lead Martha down.
Martha, the freezer, a walk-in freezer. There is a small hatch that leads to a ladder that leads downstairs to this bunker where there is a mess of books and shelves, some overturned. I don't think that was ever fixed. There is a large hole leading to the laboratory where Hektor goes. The door was blown out by Oak.
I need to fix that.
This place is a little bit of a mess.
Your library is in disarray.
It's been a busy week.
Was there an attack?
Kind of. And then it was kind of a mishap. It's just been a busy week. Make yourself at home. And he'll just gesture to the table and chairs that are out by the library. I'll be in there. I would say knock, but the door hasn't really been we have an issue with doors here. It's fine.
I see that.
But, what is it that you do?
I'm retired, but I used to be a doctor. I was a doctor at the University, a doctor and a professor at the University of Chicago. I am a psychiatrist.
Oh. How then are you familiar with all of this? If you don't mind me asking.
All of what?
Oh, strange and supernatural things. Are you familiar with strange and supernatural things?
Yes. I am familiar with them. I have researched them for 10 years or so.
Have you experienced them, though?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's good. Good.
Are we done?
Have at it. And I'm gonna just turn and go into my laboratory.
Thank you. And Martha's gonna she's gonna organize the library first.
Okay.
Get some Dewey Decimal System going here.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and then
did you bring any books with you? Are you going to add any to this?
Yeah, I mean, she definitely brought like the essentials, like a comprehensive codex, like one or two specialty manuals and a monograph, but she doesn't have her whole shebang here.
Yeah. You take your time to organize this place before doing any sort of research. What do Lucy and Darlene do during this time?
Lucy fights off demon cats that have come out of nowhere.
It's a huge twist that no one saw coming.
Lucy's gonna kind of start tidying up, like the mimosa and like whatever else is happening. Buddy, you gotta stop. And does Darlene stay there?
I think Darlene sort of just does a little of that, but mostly whatever is in the way of fixing a snack. And
Amazing.
starts fixing up some snacks, at least for the people who will probably want to eat. I don't know.
I think while that's happening, at some point, Lucy is okay. You're done. Lucy is going to stop at some point and turn around to Darlene. Could I follow up with you on something?
Sure.
So, you know that conversation that we had about your new ability?
Yeah.
So the only word we have for it is tired, but it wasn't quite tired. I think it was mostly injured during that conversation. And I wanted to clarify some points with you. Because I also realized that my sense of humor doesn't necessarily work on this plane. Don't experiment on anything, actually.
Right. I wasn't intending to do that.
Oh, good. Excellent.
Creatures from this plane, at least.
Good. There is a balance that exists. And I feel like you understand the implications of having that kind of power.
Not in the ways that I could. I mean, not in the same way that that you do, I think. But I recognize it's a little different than just using a little telekinesis.
Yes, I would say that. Be very cautious whose life you take into you.
Yeah.
That's all. And she turns around.
You said something before about transference, though, of like, you said, what if, it would be interesting if you could take that energy and put it somewhere else?
Yes, that's also a horrifying thought.
Monstrous things from not this world, like that taken tree?
Yeah. That was extremely painful. That was not something I ever want to do again.
No, I mean not inside myself.
Yeah,
I guess,
you're the funnel.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that. That would be your choice, of course, whether or not you want to do something like that. I don't know that I like that idea at all. I
Channeling
think that
it for something else.
I think that sounds incredibly reckless.
Oh.
Imagine it. Let's say that you're the funnel and you take something from this entity and you put it into this entity. But at that point, it is...
What if it weren't an entity, but more like magic, like a ritual that needs energy to function?
I have no idea how magic works. I don't understand anything. I only know how souls work. So I can only tell you that whatever soul that you put into that, I would assume that you're bringing along whatever comes with that soul. So I don't know if that would impact what happens to your magic.
Does that mean the Taken Tree had a soul?
Keeper, did I feel like that thing had a soul, or did it just really fucking hurt?
It just did not feel good with what you did. I don't think you were able to it for sure didn't feel like taking something to the other side. Like, or even absorbing it like you do when you feral. It just felt
eating what?
Bad, rotted meat.
Okay. Okay, great.
Fun.
Yeah, I relay that.
Okay.
If you think of it, this is a crude way of saying it, but if you think of it like making cocktails, you're going to get some different concoctions depending on what you mix together.
Right. Okay. Well, it was a thought. I could really go for a mint julep right about now. Bringing up cocktails.
I'm sure the stuff is here to make that. Is there a bar here? Does she have a bar? Does she have like a little bar?
Yeah.
I think there's a small bar.
Like a bar cart?
Yeah, some sort of small. She probably there is probably like a refrigerator full of like beers that she sells with the meats people are staying. But she probably up in her room has a small like, whiskey, gin, vodka.
Okay.
Wow. Is there mint growing outside?
No.
Damn. Well, can't make a cocktail, but we can have straight whiskey.
By all means. Let's have a nice cocktail.
We can't speak right
we
now.
can't have a cocktail, but we can have whiskey, and it's almost the same.
We can't have a cocktail. We can have straight whiskey. Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna have Sorry, chat.
I think we're doing really great.
We're doing so great. Oh, I'm gonna have a snack. You want something? Let's start. And Darlene continues fixing up something to eventually take downstairs for additional research.
Oh, no, thank you. I'm in the mood for some raccoon. And she starts walking towards the door.
You say that doesn't translate on planes, but I found that funny.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, you go outside and make some meat, some sort of charcuterie board or candy some bacon, whatever you desire for snack. Let's start with, and as you're doing this, Hektor, what are you working on first in your laboratory?
Well, Hector is first going to work on an arm.
Okay.
Because that's going to take a lot longer because he has a arm. So he's going to start that first.
Yeah, roll. We do you have the weird sign for it, or do you have anything else? I think you've. Yeah. I believe this is weird science.
If it is weird science, it's not my weird science move. My weird science is like spell stuff.
Do you have a fabrication workshop? You don't, do you?
I do.
Oh, do you? Then it's this.
Aha. Yeah.
So roll plus.
This is for sure a special item.
Yeah. Maybe a little more than that, but that's okay.
Hiya. Oh, how does an 11 sound?
Yeah. So what kind of armor? We have talked about some different options. Which kind of options do you want to go with for this? What's the blueprint for this arm before we extend?
I guess it depends on how many of the things we talked about I can make happen. Because I think he definitely wants to have either places where vials can be stored of some sort of a medicinal substance like the weed juice.
Yeah.
And or like kind of like a wrist blade, but on the fingers that are syringes.
Yeah, let's go with the syringe arm then.
Okay.
With the syringe arm design. You can let me pull up those stats real quick. Okay, so with the syringe arm, you have two options. You can have instead. We'll get rid of the that first one in there that I wrote on the syringe fingers one, and you can do the heal, whatever we had for your weed juice.
I don't remember. Let me see if I wrote it down. Maybe I did. Definitely did not. Cool. I feel like the weed juice just healed
one.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're doing a syringe, it is still hand is the distance for both of these. And you can switch off, but it is still fragile as you are storing these vials in this thing. It is currently just metallic with a bunch of like holes for these vials and these syringe fingers. At least 2 of them syringes.
Okay. So you said the second option?
You wanted to cause harm, right? Is that still your plan?
Well, I wanted so it would have Hektor wants to be able to support people and or also himself by making sure we don't die, because we've been doing a lot of almost dying lately.
Sure.
And also, if necessary, either distract or cause mild harm to something, because he doesn't fight when he tries and it hurts a lot. So that's kind of his
I'll let you choose either one of those 2 options that are there then instead as the second option. So you have the one that heals, you have the one syringe with water, and then you can choose one of the other 2 options on that syringe finger list to take as currently as your second option.
Okay.
Do you have that? I can read them to you if you don't.
Yeah, I just am trying to parse, because the conversation we had was a bit everywhere. So if you could remind me the options.
You can either do 0 harm, hand drugged, or 2 harm, hand caustic.
And is that on top of the healing, or is that
separate?
separate?
That is, you basically can choose one or the other when you're using this harm. Think about it for 1 second. Let me try to look at my connection. Give me one.
Sure. As a mild flavor thing, while Ty is doing that, I periodically am like looking out the door to see what Martha's doing as she's rearranging the entire library. And then I just peek back away while she's busy. Hello.
Hello. Did you think of which way you wanted to go with this?
I guess if choosing between the 2, he would go with less harm, I suppose. If we're choosing between those 2, like the 0 harm drug or the 2 harm caustic. Yeah.
Okay.
Guess he would go with the
Then
first one.
take the 2 drug, the 0 harm drugged hand. And it'll basically be like a more concealed version of your regular syringe.
Okay.
It's part of your hand.
It's part of my hand.
Your horrifying new hand.
My good new hand. While I'm in here, I would also like to use my move Oops to stumble across something important while I'm inside of my laboratory.
Ooh. Read that out for me.
If I want to stumble across something important, I tell the keeper, you will find something important and useful, although not necessarily related to your immediate problems.
Okay. Yeah. I will think about what that is, and I will let you know.
Sure.
While you are working on this, let's go to Martha. Martha, you are now generally you've reset this library fairly well, and maybe supplemented it a little bit with your own. What do you do?
I think, okay, based on what Martha was told, Martha is going to try to confirm, like, a clear path on how to destroy this poltergeist. So what Martha knows is it's a poltergeist. She inferred and was confirmed that Hektor is responsible, or at the very... Well, Hektor is in fact responsible, but at the very least the poltergeist feels that they're responsible. And they are bound to a object long term, which is unusual.
Correct. And you have, is there anything, I assume all of you would have filled Martha the rest during a car ride or a downtime. Is there anything you would have held back from Martha? Or would you guys have been forthright about pretty much everything? Yeah? Okay. Yeah, so you're trying to kind of ascertain new paths forward. You can roll if you...
Yes. Like what? Yeah, trying to get an idea of how do we finish this thing off?
Yes.
Okay. Do I get the +1 from Lore Library?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. 9.
9. This is the or there's not a special rule for it. That just gives you a boost.
Yeah, it's just a +1. It's just a +1.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. To invest history. Okay, let's talk about what you do with this 9. You think of you find in the writing and based on what your... Okay. I'll tell you and then I'll try to...
Yeah, sure thing.
Here's what you get. You find from the books and from what your comrades have told you a couple different options, a couple different ways you could go with it. You know what Darlene has done. Darlene was able to shut down a piece of this monster. They're going to get apart piece by piece doing that. There's obviously dangers with that. If she continues that way, it is a hard thing to do, but that is an option. You know Hektor was able to put something inside this vessel. You're not sure what would happen if he put more inside of this vessel. And the last one, which might be a little hard, and you would have known this in other times as an expert in other research, is being able to name something. Something's true name holds power over it.
Okay.
So you guys discuss this while I reset my router.
Thank you.
So I will be back.
Appreciate you. Just gonna take it here. It's true name. We are going to be cammed up here for a little bit, folks, while we try resets his router so we can have a clear connection. Hello? 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 Hello?
We look like we're floating.
Then we'll have to realign cams. I think it'll just be a 2-switch.
We're doing really great.
Yeah, we should do every episode like this. Hello?
I agree.
I can be over
Just
here
like
next.
Hello.
Just like Katya. Hello?
Hello.
Nope, I'm on this side.
Hello.
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 Look at
God said
Miranda.
hi.
Ah.
Hi.
Hi.
Like this, we're sharing. Hello. Hi.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
hi.
my titty. Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Hello.
I love this because he's going to come
Maria.
back and say, what did y'all discuss? And we're going to be like,
I don't know
nothing. Oh,
We
dear.
talked about absolutely nothing,
Oh,
but we had
dear.
fun.
This is the best and the worst.
Wait, here we go. Ready?
Mm. I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what's happening.
Ty will be back shortly, and we'll pick back up.
Hello.
Hello.
We had Ty
Hello?
reset his router, folks, because he was having the robot attack.
Hello.
Oh my goodness.
Hello.
There's something in our Discord now. Yep. It's
I'm
there.
just gonna stay down here
This
so
is
I
the
don't have
stream
just
now.
like a
Yeah.
single solo
thing.
titty in one frame.
Yeah. Solo
Hello.
titty.
Please welcome to the stage.
Please welcome to the stage.
I got
Solo
solo.
titty.
I got a solo titty in a frame too. Look at that. Look at that.
Solo titty.
Mm.
The new EP, Solo Titty.
So that's it.
I think
Where in the world are Carmen Sandiego's titties?
I think we got a lot done during this, you guys.
Yeah.
We're doing great.
What I love is I could like fix this with one click, but I'm just leaving it like this.
Yeah, it's more fun this way. Hi. Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
I'll actually be right back.
Be sure to not edit this out in the VOD. Okay, leave this in.
This is
the
vital.
best
This
part.
is important.
This is the content we want. This is what
content
I
that-
am here for.
Yeah.
This is what I'm hearing for.
This is the content that people crave during
That's right.
this crisis.
You know, the old solo titty in the frame.
Solo Titty. I'm not wearing a bra.
No one needs to know.
I'll never tell.
I'll never
I'll never tell. No one will see my titties. I'm so sorry. I'm doing my best.
We really all are, you know?
Mhm.
Just doing our best.
Danger.
Did a danger lurk behind you?
Da, 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 da. It's like an MC Escher painting. Yes, Chase.
You missed it. We have a whole plan, Matthew.
We have a plan.
Yeah.
We figured it out.
And by
Plan is-
plan,
To do this.
yeah,
Yeah.
we sure did talk about some more.
You're so muted, Matthew.
We talked about boobies.
We did. We talked
Yeah.
about the tatas.
The tatas.
Tatas.
I fixed it. We're all fixed now.
I don't
Oh,
believe you.
Oh,
Yeah.
Somehow
but-
I don't believe you.
You
I'm
should.
missing an arm.
Oh.
But you know what?
You
Actually,
should. Because
like this.
I correct. I did not actually
Actually.
fix it.
But you fixed something, and yet still Alexis and I are sharing a window.
Yeah, that's right.
And
Which
also
is the
Maria.
most important part.
Also,
Maria
well,
and I need to share a window.
yeah. I'm in the correct spot, and that's all that matters.
And that's all that you care
That's-
about.
that's
Which
all
is,
that
you
matters.
know.
The correct spot. Ty went
Your
at-
friend.
Ty actually went out to buy a new monitor rather than just reset it.
Nice. Awesome.
We're just gonna.
I
he's gonna-
said I need to go buy a new router. I'll
Yeah,
be gone for a while.
He's gonna get his GoPro
Oh.
set up, and we're gonna switch to a Walmart shopping stream.
There it is. There it is. Gonna go to IKEA. It's
We're gonna go to IKEA, maybe
Yep.
Target. Gonna get some sushi,
Yep. Yep.
and then I'm gonna make out with
Let's-
platypus.
yeah.
Make out with the platypus. Oh, there he goes. He's
Hey.
coming back in. Come back in real hot.
Hello.
Okay.
Any better
Who
or
am I now?
We will see. If it's not, we can grin and bear it.
Oh, I am keeper. Hello.
Oh,
It is
hello.
a little.
You're all
disruptive.
beholden to me now. Kiss. I'm kidding.
Oh my goodness. Imagine Martha and Hektor making out.
you
They're,
guys
most
walk down to the
awkward-
basement?
the most
they're
awkward.
so
Making out.
old.
So Ty, if you were expecting us to actually have conversation when you were gone,
we didn't do
it
that.
sure happened.
We had great conversation, I think.
Was
I
it about
think
your
it was-
path forward?
I think it was really.
It was about boobies.
It was the most
Ah,
meaningful conversation we've ever had on this channel.
Okay. So to circle back, Martha found out basically Darlene can luck, spam, and kill herself trying to get rid of this thing. We could try filling the carton with lots of other energies, or we can find its true name.
Those are some of the options. Yes, those
Yeah.
are the three best options you would find in your researches.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah, option one doesn't sound terrific.
It doesn't necessarily have to be like, it doesn't have to spam luck to do so. She could take it apart. It would be, without spending luck, it would be a lot harder, but she does have kind of an in.
Like
I'll
little
put it
bit
that way.
by bit, kind of dispel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So I feel like those are the two options. Those actually, Martha would present. Unlike Matthew, Martha would present all three options because she thinks they're all reasonable.
So you all reconvene. Oh, you, Hektor, you find, by the way, the thing you find in one of your cabinets, you find a strange mess of tubes and wires that are knotted together, but they seem unlike anything else in this lab. Just their colors, their composition, the way, the kind of wires they are just seem very out of place and odd.
Does it look like it was like constructed into something? Or
No,
is
it
just,
looks like it's a knot of
loose-
it's just
like
a bunch
loose
of wires that
and
have
stuff?
been like shoved aside. They were in a drawer, shoved aside, like moved around, have become knotted. Not knotted on purpose.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why I said She wasn't talking to me.
Martha's in the lab.
Martha's like, yes.
Yes,
Sorry.
I know wires.
We are in rare form tonight.
We're in some kind of something.
I minored in wires.
Cool.
I know how the brain is wired, therefore I understand all wires.
All wires, all tubes and wires.
You all meet after you all now see Hektor's new arm. You can describe it, what it exactly looks like. So everyone reconvenes in the table downstairs.
God, but it's kind of, you don't see most of it because it's under a shirt sleeve, because he typically wears like button down long sleeve shirts. But the hand is fairly like it doesn't have a whole lot of casing on it. It's mostly like a hand in, you could see it has 5 digits. But at least 2 of them are hollow, and you can see kind of tucked in there, you can see that there's like a spring loaded needle of some kind in at least 2 of them. They have like hollow tips. It's all sorts of different colors of like metal and hard plastics and things of that nature.
Hector, I feel like I need to ask. What's this one do?
Well, hopefully less destructive things than the incident we had under the school.
Yeah,
hopefully
that's kind of what I'm hoping.
little more remember that, well, you were asleep. It'll hopefully help us feel better and not on fire. It's got them. And I'll kind of like roll up the sleeve a little bit, and you can see that there's like little vials kind of tucked in some of the exposed parts, like securely. If we get really, in a bad spot, maybe I can help patch us up a little bit with less potential scarring.
That would be
No
good.
offense, but
No, that none taken. It's just how it works.
Okay, so I've done some reading on the monster. According to all of the information that you've gathered, I have 3 potential outs in ways of defeating this creature. First, based on what Darlene conferred to me, you could take this monster a bit piece by piece by dispelling the various enchantments that keep it together, and that should weaken it enough to be destroyed. Second, if things can be taken out of this monster, things can be put back in. We could try filling it with some kind of destabilizing or counteractive energies to undo it, or, well, remake it, whatever. It would defeat the monster. Third is learning the monster's true name. That is a very clean solution, but it is difficult to obtain a creature's true name, though I may have one avenue or 2. Those are the 3 best options I have, based on my research.
Quick question for Ty Keeper.
Yeah.
Do we understand when we're spending like does Darlene understand that taking this thing apart piece by piece and spending luck every time to do it will kill her?
It won't kill. Spending luck doesn't kill you. It doesn't hurt. There are negative consequences to luck as a karma balance, but it doesn't actually cause you physical harm to spend luck.
Right, I know that, but like when you spend all your luck, you're doomed.
You're doomed. Doesn't mean you're gonna die. Just means you don't have any more luck. You roll a bad miss, something's gonna happen. You don't, but it's not. There, in no sense, any of you have, because that's also not how I'm going to run this game. You're not going to die if you run out of luck. It's just that you no longer have that opportunity to correct a dire mistake. So and also even with what Martha is saying, and kind of that line of thinking, you have avenues to shut it down without spending the luck. Shut it down in a very permanent way, and also you gave in and got a little bit of benefit from it. You can also take it apart in other ways but that's not going to do it by itself. Like if you try to shut it down and just use that ability, that'll help and will start to you think it might start to destabilize it, but you can't do that by yourself. There will be other forces that need to kind of happen if you go down that road.
Okay.
Temporarily just suspending the enchantment and then like hacking it apart, etc. Playing by
Right. Okay.
dismantling it.
Well,
Hektor, do you know who was in there? This spirit?
No, I hope I don't. Could I have brought up the notes that I had, or that I remember? Did I find the notes, like I found like the original blueprints, right? For this thing, or kind of like sketchings or something like that.
You found some vague. I don't know if you found if you found sketches, they were vague. You found that one note in particular that you realized was pertaining to this thing. If you found blueprints, they would have been very vague, and it wouldn't have been like. It wouldn't have had the same arcane markings that Darlene relayed. It wouldn't have had. It wouldn't have been like a 1-for-1 translation. It may have been like some ideas, but nothing solid.
Okay.
Martha, I don't know how much you're up to date on the whole circumstances, but Hektor has quite a bit of amnesia going on. I don't know. You had that doctor's coat and that badge. You seem to have been a doctor at some point, or are a doctor of some sort.
Yes.
I don't know if you can help with this amnesia, but if apart from the amnesia, there's no way to access that part of Hektor's memory. We tried through magic, and that kind of didn't help a ton.
I'm assuming you mean retrograde amnesia.
Yes, I believe so, but I am not schooled in that sort of thing, so that's just my best guess.
As far as I'm aware, yes.
Certainly try to help.
It doesn't have to be now, but it would not. I would not say no to some help with remembering things.
I'm happy to help you try to recover your memories, especially regarding this creature and the incident that created it.
Is the true name of this thing the name of the soul or souls that's inside it? Or would that be something else?
Martha would gather, that it's probably the real name of this thing before it was turned into whatever it is now.
Yeah. I posit that true names are like the name that you go by in your truest self. You know what I mean? Yeah. There isn't like some. Yeah.
Well, that's the. I don't know what sort of a process that would be, but.
There is a number of therapies we can employ. There are a number of therapies we can employ. I would probably start with a diagnostic, and then from there, it's likely we could pursue hypnosis. Cognitive behavioral is probably out, since these incidents didn't take well. We can explore options after a diagnostic.
Okay. Did we ever ward this place from the lumberjack?
That episode is not on YouTube. I did not look. That would be sorry. That is episode 16. I completely forgot
That's
to ask
okay.
Matthew. I don't. I think with all you gather, the basement has some measure of security. You don't know about the lodge upstairs because I don't know about the lodge upstairs, but I don't think so.
No, we tried to, and then it was very bad, and we had to do a big magic thing in order to ward it from the lumberjack.
Yeah, we
Right,
did
and-
not ward it.
Yeah, it's not specifically warded against the
It's
lumberjack.
warded against cops. The cellar is, but
The seller's warded against cops. Correct.
So whatever we do, maybe we should do it not here because this place isn't warded.
is there a place that is warded against the monster?
The hospital, which I wouldn't recommend, but Brogy's, the Wake and Bake. I did ward that place before I slept last night.
Selfishly, it would make me feel a little bit better if there wasn't a murderous mascot looming. Around any of us.
You're more comfortable at Brochi's.
I just think if we're going to be spending some time trying to diagnose and recover any of Hektor's memories, that doesn't sound like a good. It sounds like we'll need to defend ourselves in some way potentially
I'm sorry.
while that happens.
I'm sorry. I asked Hektor a question. Hektor,
Oh, I'm sorry.
are you more comfortable at Brochi's?
Yes and no. I'm gonna say yes. This place is more familiar, but I think for everyone's sake, it would make me feel better if we were at Brogy's place.
Martha kind of nods. Martha looks over at Darlene and says that it sounds like Brogy's is a good place to do it. I already have a room there I'm paying for. A couple rooms. So I'm ready to go when you all are. There's nothing more I can do here. For now.
Do you guys do anything else or head back to Brogy's, the Wake and Bake? Okay. It is now.
Yep. Pack up whatever we might need and head over.
I'm gonna bring these weird, like a couple of these weird wires and tubes with me to see if I can figure out what they might have been from, or just kind of.
Sure. It'll take a little bit of
Study them.
time to study
Yeah.
them, but yeah,
Yeah.
you can if you have time. All right, it's about midday, maybe a little bit later, early afternoon, as you make your way across town back to the Wake and Bake. You arrive at Brogy's. He is not currently here. What do you all do?
Hektor, whenever you're ready, we can begin. I can set us up a space in my room and we could talk. I want to be clear. It's unethical to use these practices in this context. You're not my patient, but I'll be using clinical practices. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We could definitely talk more about it. But I just wanted to be very clear. I'm not your doctor, and you're not my patient.
Sure. We're
Okay.
both parties looking for the. We both want the same thing. I hope.
Just out of curiosity, what does that mean for Hektor in terms of your confidentiality?
Um, there is no confidentiality between people who are not doctors and patients, but I do believe there is confidentiality between monster hunters.
Okay.
Well, I am ready whenever you are.
I'll go get ready. And Martha goes up to her bedroom. She gets some tea and stuff, puts on a little music. Gets in a nice little. She sets up one chair opposite side the other.
What kind of tea?
I don't know. So I don't know teas that well. Something
Ginger tea
relaxing.
fruit.
Okay,
Very
sure.
tasty.
There you go. Something relaxing and hypnotic.
What kind of music?
Smooth
Something
jazz, of
relaxing
course.
and hypnotic.
Smooth.
NPR.
Yeah, NPR. Yeah. Smooth jazz, of course.
Okay. Hector, do you go right there, or you try to study these wires first?
I think while she's setting up, I'll just, however long she takes to set up, I'll just take a look at these.
Roll a sharp.
Where did my dice get to there? Come here. 7.
Not a failure. It takes a little bit. I think Martha's waiting probably a little bit longer than she anticipates. But you think these wires seem pretty heavy duty. Like they are coated and like a really metallic with strands of it seemed like filament, a fine wire filament through them, and it seems very heavy duty compared to your usual work. Like whatever it is connecting or containing was used in containing or connecting was very important and a little bit more heavy duty than what you usually are accustomed to.
Okay. Well, I'll stick it back in my bag, and I will head to Martha's inner sanctum.
Okay, you enter this inner sanctum.
Why is her room taking on so much metaphysical significance? It's a sanctum. It's a room in a very poorly managed bed and breakfast.
Hey, anywhere can be a sanctum.
Hey,
Any house
It's
can be
now a
home.
sanctum. You have made this into a sanctum. You did this.
I mean, by Brogy standards, a little smooth jazz, some incense, that's a sanctum.
It's for sure a sanctum.
Oh my god. Okay. So yeah, Martha would, look at Hektor, give him a warm smile. She would say, would you like to have a seat?
Sure. Does it?
It's up to you.
Okay. I will take the one farthest from the door.
Martha will use her soul-sucking cannon.
Yeah, here it is.
Hell yes. Yeah.
Not really. Okay. Martha sits down the opposite chair, the one that Hector didn't choose. So you have memory problems, is that correct?
I feel like that's an understatement. There.
Ignore the smooth jazz. It's a little.
Farther. Just. I guess the.
Not sure if that's the
music
right
helps
mood. I'm a little rusty.
There's about 20 or 30 years missing. Supposedly I was in a coma the entire time. At least as of a week ago I was.
You were in a coma, so of course you wouldn't have many memories from that time. But then, in the time before the coma, you also have lost those memories.
It appears that way. Mm-hmm. I remember bits and pieces being back here from my time here. people I met, worked with, things made.
Okay. I want you to focus. If that's okay, we can begin.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to focus on the last thing you remember before your coma. Most immediate memory that you have before everything went dark.
I feel like there's a lot of basically the equivalency of like television static in Hector's mind as he tries to think of what the last thing he could have possibly remembered is. I think there's flashes of the things that he has remembered during his week or so here. Is
But
is that something I can remember,
yeah,
Dad?
you can roll a fractured memory. We'll talk about what happens.
Okay.
Arthur gets to see the old fractured memory.
No,
This was an
broken
interaction
mind.
I actually did not anticipate, I'll be honest. Suppose there's a reason why she's a psychiatrist.
10.
What you don't see clear visions as you were trying to, like, you see a lot of static as you were trying to go through your mind into this. But in this smooth jazz sanctum of Martha, what you remember feeling pain, and you hear shouts and screams echoing from far away. And you feel your body just exhausted and racked. And you feel cold. And that is the last thing you remember.
I it wasn't the last thing I remember was being in a lot of pain. Other people probably were too.
Did you hear anything or smell anything?
A lot of screaming.
Okay.
I felt cold.
I want you to focus on the screaming and follow it. Can you do that for me?
Yeah, I can. Sure, I can try.
We don't have to do anything you don't want to do.
It's okay so far. It's fine so far.
Okay.
He'll close his eyes and try to focus on the screams that he was hearing.
Yeah, roll fractured memory.
12.
You Yeah, you follow these screams in your mind, and your vision you see the static, and your vision begins to clear a little bit, and you are not next to the screams. You were never next to the screams whenever this happened. You weren't there. You were not where whatever happened took place. You see a tight corridor, and you see bloody hands and stains of blood running down, trailing towards these screams and shouts, which sound like many people. And they're echoing in what sounds like a larger chamber than wherever you are. And you feel a desire to go and help and be there, but you know you cannot. And then the vision fades.
I think with his eyes kind of still closed, he would relate relate what he was seeing or sensing to Martha. Did the space that it was in, did it seem familiar at all? Like, is it something I could place, or is it just could have been any kind of space?
Yeah. You can roll it one more time.
Okay.
You can roll it one more time if you want. There may be a negative consequence this time, but you can roll it if you want to push further.
Yeah. I think he would relate everything, and then would just, with his eyes still closed, just kind of like cock his head slightly, and try to essentially make some sort of detail out of whatever this recollection is. That one's a 5.
You can mark XP.
Oh, good.
And die.
And I die.
No. Here's a couple things happen all at once. As you continue to try to press into this memory, this vision, especially where it was, the locale of this, whatever corridor you feel like, this tight location you feel like you were in, doesn't seem necessarily familiar on sight immediately. What feels familiar is this kind of staggering presence and just weight of being isolated and strangely alone, despite people being nearby. The most recent time you would have felt that was when there was a lot of fog in the forest and you were alone. That's a similar feeling, not necessarily locale. What you feel emotionally as you think about this, as you're in this space, is the immense weight of all of the decisions Hektor had made up until that point. And a mixture of guilt, hopefulness, and remorse. And what you see as Hektor's eyes are closed, Martha, you see a strange grayish viscous fluid begin pouring out of his eyes, like thick tears.
Oh no.
All right, Martha will, dab that with some Kleenex.
It's like a thick mucus is what it feels like as you dab.
All right, I'll use 2 Kleenexes.
Good. Problem solved.
Wipe that up. And I'll pocket the Kleenex.
Okay.
Um, Hektor will kind of blink his eyes open, and
As you do it, it feels like, when you wake up in the morning after being like sick a little bit and your eyes are a little bit like crusty and hard to open. That's what it feels like.
wipe my eyes.
You see a grayish mucus. Not a lot. You see probably just a thin like film, as most of it has been wiped away by Martha.
Um, that is new.
You followed the screams?
Um,
Then you went deeper.
I tried. Uh, it didn't, um, uh, it didn't really go anywhere.
The feelings that you felt, the screams, the feeling that you described, is there a name or a face that you could connect to those?
Well, my own.
That's good. That's important.
I knew other people. I can sometimes see, I know they existed, but Gretchen is really the only one I remember, and I know that she is not in that thing. I didn't put her in anything.
You seem to have a very severe case of retrograde amnesia. I am concerned. Hektor, normally these kind of revelations, the things that we would talk about, we would do over the course of weeks. But I think you and I both know we don't have that kind of time. I am concerned that your amnesia is a defense mechanism. Protecting you from things that you've done. In my 30 years of clinical psychiatry, I've never seen such a powerful reaction during therapy. And then Martha just kind of rests her head on like the chair behind her and looks at Hektor, and we'll sit there in silence, just giving Hektor space and allowing Hektor to say the next thing and do whatever Hektor wants to do.
I think he just sits there and is just kind of nodding, even after stop speaking. Um, um, and will say, You're probably right. In retrospect, I've done a lot of I've done a lot of very terrible things. And I'm just now realizing what I've done and how terrible they could have been.
Martha's eyes just kind of water a little bit, and she closes them for a second. She takes a shallow breath. She opens her eyes back up. I understand. Do you feel prepared to make amends?
I'd like to say that I would take it back, but I don't know what I would. I don't know who I would be making amends to other than myself. Gretchen is dead. I don't know where these other people are. For all I know, I've put the soul of someone I worked with inside of a mascot creature. That's my fear. That's my biggest fear, is that something I did directly harmed someone that I cared about.
In the course of wrongdoing, it is important to make amends to yourself. If this creature is a poltergeist, then that is something to make amends to by releasing it. I'm sorry we couldn't find its name here today. I did try. And I know you did too.
Could we try this again sometime? It's a little less terrifying than the other means we tried. Although, and I think by this point he's kind of wiped off his whatever is remaining of this gray sludge onto a if there are extra tissues lying about.
There are.
No, only Martha's private two tissues.
The two. He probably actually would have had a handkerchief or something and would have wiped it up and put it in his own pocket. It seems like when I try to remember things, besides being emotionally painful, it hurt. It seems to be physically demanding.
Our minds are capable of eliciting very powerful responses from our bodies.
I don't know about your personal biological makeup. Mine typically doesn't have gray in it. But that's a me problem to figure out later, I think.
Well, my door is always open.
Thank you.
Thank you for trusting me to help. How are you feeling?
Awful.
Sometimes that happens in, well, quasi-therapy. Almost therapy. Non-professional therapy.
It's kind of been a perpetual state of awful that just kind of solidified in one big gray blob.
Well, you can use this space as long as you like.
I think I'm gonna go try to do something that kind of helps me, I don't know, process. My hands are busy or something. I don't know.
Okay.
He's gonna stand up, but if you're gonna say something, he would stop before leaving.
She just takes napkins out of her pocket and she throws them in the trash. I'm gonna take a bit of a nap. I actually haven't slept since yesterday, so I'm gonna rest a bit.
Sure. I'll get out of your way.
Thank you, Hektor.
Then I will leave.
All right. You walk out of the Martha's Sanctum, the sounds of smooth jazz becoming softer and softer as you do. Where do you head next, Hektor?
Well, now Hektor is wishing that they had stayed at the lodge, but
I can go to someone else who you should opinion.
no, I think he really just wants to see what this gray sludge stuff is. But he doesn't have like any of his big anything. So I guess he would just find, I don't know, a space and just kind of mull it over, try to figure it out as much as he can without any like fancy equipment or anything like that.
What you find, you could roll. What you find would be very limited.
Okay.
Without
Yeah,
anything.
I figured. But that's what he would do
Okay.
that and then just kind of reminisce about basically replay these things that were in his head. And I think he starts to replay them, but then the only thing that really kind of sticks in his mind are the visions of the streaks of blood and the screams and that feeling of just complete remorsefulness.
Sorry, I have a move actually for what we just did.
Oh, okay.
I have often right. When a hunter comes to you for advice about a problem, give them your honest opinion and advice. If they take your advice, they gain +1 ongoing following it, and you mark experience. So if you take my advice regarding not forgiving yourself and trying to make amends to the monster, that you get a +1. Trying to do that.
Nice.
I just thought that was neat.
Nice. I dig that. Anything else? What do you do, Martha, after this?
Martha starts to unpack, from her bag, and she takes out some photos of Oak and another young guy, and she sets it on next to Oak and him. They're about 15. She sets it next to her nightstand, like on her nightstand next to her bed, and she just unpacks and gets things like sorted.
Okay.
And she lays down and takes a fucking nap.
Yeah, that's right. What do Darlene and Lucy do?
I think Darlene brought back a book or two, maybe 3, from Nana's.
Okay.
Because, anticipated doing some waiting to continue her research with her current little issue with that dream that
So you're going to research more into the dream
that harmed her. Yeah.
You're not really researching your dreams, but there isn't really anything on your dream. Well,
Right.
you can keep doing it, but it's more like a dream magic kind of.
I'm just
you're looking into.
right. I'm looking more for like. I'm looking more for definitive answers of like, did somebody do that to me?
Mm.
How do I find out who? Or, like, what is the danger?
Okay.
I'm trying to.
Sure.
Darlene is trying to figure out what exactly the danger is here
Okay. Yeah. Roll. You can roll for it. We'll talk about it.
in this situation and how to deal with it.
Okay. Yeah.
Beautiful. Why didn't I advance? That? What is this? Is investigative mystery, right?
Correct.
Should have advanced that shit. I've got a total of. What's my sharp? 1. Yeah, total of 12.
Nice. That'd be nice. Yeah. What you get from? Let me pull up your clock. Actually. Talk about what you get for it. I'll pull it up. But on a surface level, at least what you get is that, especially with the experiences that Hektor and Oak kind of relayed to you about that dream and Hektor's kind of dreams leading up to it, or the voices. This was now 4 nights ago, and you've slept pretty soundly since. You haven't had any, if something was coming for you, they've either backed off or they're doing it in a very slow manner, as you've slept soundly since that happened, relatively. There hasn't been any sort of aggression into your dreamscape. If that was the case, could be something that's, once again, doing it slowly or has a loose connection, or it could have been more a prophetic dream that just had a negative consequence. That would be what you ascertained, and I think you'd probably lean more closely to the latter, because it would seem odd that something was trying to attack you and then just stopped. That's not really the way things work here.
Okay. So now, we're thinking. Okay. So Darlene is thinking now that it's like a prophetic sort of a thing.
I'll give you this. It's something that probably, with your research and your knowledge with the magics that you've been doing, you think it's probably more something that came either A, from yourself, or B, something that was enhanced by your recent forays into visions, as you have used blood magic to have visions recently. There could be some bleed through from that. You also know this is just so far as you can tell, this is a town where there is a very thin veil and things cross over and magic is rampant, and that could have effect on it too. Those are more where you're being pointed than something trying to attack you in your dreams specifically.
Okay. I feel like I know less than I did before, but at least I know that nothing's.
Yeah, I mean, it's out of the research. Out of the research of, is something trying to attack you, or is something this not that? You have a now pretty definitive answer. It's probably not something trying to attack you. This was probably not something that invaded your dreamscape and tried to cause you harm. Despite you gaining harm from this interaction, you don't think it was something specifically coming at you.
Okay.
Which does ask more questions, of course, but does answer one of the ones you asked.
Okay. So the whole 10 plus hold 2, do I get any of those?
You could ask me something more. I'm going to put it towards your clock too, but you could ask me something a little more. If you want more of a clarifying, you can ask me.
Okay. So I guess
How you research it? Yeah.
So it is.
You can take a second to think about your other question if you want. If you want a second.
So like, does she get the sense that there is a danger there, or that it's just something that just kind of happened?
Danger, as in, what do you mean danger? Like you think it's clarify a little more.
Okay, so the dream involved like a body of blood.
Correct.
And where was it?
It was in a puddle in the middle of Hallows.
That's what I thought.
In a cross section of a street.
And it didn't seem reminiscent of anything that we had experienced
No,
there.
it did not seem like the blood golem for sure. 100%.
And so, and it didn't look like anybody in particular, right?
No, it was a just kind of humanoid blood shape that began to take form.
Okay. What is it going to do be a thing that I ask?
Interesting. Yes, you can ask that. We'll talk about it in a second. Yeah, you can ask that.
Okay, all right. Okay. So
Lucy,
that's how Darlene spends that time.
Yeah, you guys have a good kind of at least 5 or 6 hour break, I'm assuming, for Martha to like catch up on sleep.
Okay.
And for this therapy session to happen. So it's probably a good 6 hours. It'll be kind of nighttime in Hallows before you awake. Lucy, what are you doing?
Lucy is going to hang out by that window again where she can see out.
Sure.
And I think honestly she's mostly just trying to still her mind and try to keep an eye out to see if she can sense it coming anywhere near the vicinity and just kind of keep an eye out, I think, is what she's doing.
Okay. Yeah, you keep an eye out for a couple hours. At about 3:30 p.m., you see Brogy begin to walk back and walks in the front door, sees you once again sitting in the foyer, the dining room or the living room. He waves to you through the window before walking in and enters. What's up? You're back? How's it going? You guys like staying here for good now?
I don't know, actually. That's a great question. It's a really good question. I know that did I ever end up telling Brogy that he has I haven't seen him yet since
you
Martha
sure
got
haven't
here.
told him that.
Okay, great. I checked someone in earlier because you weren't here.
Oh, sweet. What's their name? Do you have like
hope
their...
it's cool.
Yeah, I'm always looking for you want a job?
No, I am currently employed, but thank you. Their information, I wrote it down there. They rented out, didn't you, Martha? You rented out the whole first floor, didn't you?
3 rooms.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Under the name Shannon.
Shannon. Okay.
Or something like that.
It was not your real name. It was a different name. Ow. We're doing just fine over here, thanks. I would relay that to Brogy.
We're pretty much full up. I think we have 1 room left at this point. We are. The Wake and Bake has never been so popular.
Oh, well, thank goodness, Brogy. What a lovely establishment you have.
Thank you. I really dig it. I'm glad you dig it too. I think you'd be a great addition to the Wake and Bake staff. So, I mean, I know you're employed, but if you're ever looking...
Thank you. I will absolutely keep that in mind. Maybe odd jobs here and there for very specific things.
But all right, you have like recommendations? You can walk Blaze and Smokey.
What's that?
My huskies?
Have we seen the husky? Have we seen them before?
If they
okay.
In passing, but he's got 2 huskies.
Okay. That would be great. I love animals.
Cool. I mean, they're out back. I feel like taking them for a walk.
Like right now?
I mean, no, we're pretty chill. Wake and Bake is a very chill LLC. We're like, you know.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? I'll take him for a walk right now. You can give me, I don't really know how money works in Hush Hollow, so you can give me something when I return.
It's like the regular money.
She laughs and just walks out.
And he goes to a small Jerry Garcia cookie jar and pulls out some dollar bills and begins counting them out as you take Blaze and Smokey for a walk around Hush Hollows as the sun begins to set. All right, let's go to. So it is now. We'll probably talk about Darlene at the end. What does Hektor do at the tail end of these hours? Is he going to? Are you guys like staying? You're staying in your room the entire night? Or are you going to try to reconvene with everyone?
I think I would want to reconvene. If nothing else, the sense of loneliness is overwhelming. Just being around people would be better. But then to just kind of fill everyone in, at least as much as didn't really like pinpoint anything.
You would probably find Darlene first. She's like did you go to your room, Darlene, or did you kind of like stay in a more?
I think I'm just sort of
Or you open a door in your room. That could be it too if you're not.
No,
or are you more secluding for this?
I think I'm in some sort in a common area,
Okay.
probably close to doors and or windows so that I can keep an eye on things.
You're probably at the kitchen table where you still you saw the interaction with Brogy and Lucy and saw Lucy, but
I think Darlene's a little on edge.
Sure. Yeah, then you would probably see Darlene first, kind of reading Hektor.
If there's a seat nearby, I would sit. And just kind of, if you're reading, I would just kind of sit and just be present.
Mm-hmm.
Not really wanting to interrupt anything that you were doing until you were, comfortable.
Darlene had recognized Hector's entrance and settling in. She'd finish up whatever paragraph she's in the middle of reading, and then look up and say, "Well, how do you think it went? Anything you want to talk about?" You don't have to. We could just sit here if you want.
No, I think talking about it would be good. I just don't know how to. I remembered some things, none of which are what we were trying to find, which is fine, but I keep having this weird feeling that I think I've done something worse than this mascot situation. And I don't know. There's no proof of it other than just a terrible feeling. But I'm full of terrible feelings right now.
But you didn't remember anything that would definitively say that that's the case?
No, not really. I would recall what I remembered, and I would also tell Darlene that there this creature, this lumberjack creature, whatever it was, whatever experiment I ended up doing, it wasn't the last thing I did here. There was something else, and I can't I that's what I have such a bad feeling about. I don't know. I don't know what could have happened that was bad enough that I ended up in that state. Or who else ended up in that state or in a worse state.
So you think that your memory wasn't injury related? It's
I don't think all of it is.
okay.
There was also this weird gray substance that came out of my eyes. I need to figure out what that is, because that's not... Well, there's a lot of things that aren't normal, but that's really not an average everyday occurrence for me.
Does that ring any bells for Darlene?
You can roll.
If it's not even worth a roll, then that's fine. I'm just asking.
I think that no, probably not for Darlene. Probably not for Darlene.
That is odd. I don't know what that would be. But certainly something to keep tabs on.
I'm sure I can do some more research if I go back to my my lab, but I don't think I'm gonna do that today.
Well, Hektor, if you did do something worse than what's already been done that we know about, I guess as you figure out what that is, you just have to figure out how you feel about it and what you want to do about it.
I can tell you right now, I feel terrible. I feel bad that I don't remember doing these things, and I'm now feeling more... I don't know how I felt then, but there's definitely waves of remorsefulness and guilt, and those sorts of things have definitely stayed.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I did know what I was doing, or not knowing exactly what I have done is, I think, the worst part of this. I don't know if I should be feeling exceptionally guilty for everything, or just for the things I can remember, like this lumberjack creature is very bad. Very bad. We almost died. All of us almost died. And I feel terrible about that. I almost caused that to happen.
Well, That sounds like you're carrying a lot there, Hector. And I'm here to help deal with the fallout of those things. I do have some thoughts. It sounds like you weren't able to get the name of this thing. I have we're exploring you with Martha's help are exploring your own memory of events. But there is an aspect that we haven't really been looking into, and that's like town records. Maybe we could find like newspapers from that era. I don't know if when you were, what exactly happened when you went back to those and talked to the police. I mean, did they know who you were?
Oh, there were warrants out for my arrest, yeah.
There were.
Well, a one singular with multiple. It had some layers to it.
Oh, various charges or things that they had you out under arrest for. Okay, well,
And I think related things.
maybe we could start figuring out what was going on with that arrest, and if there were names of people that you spent your time with that was documented by someone at some point. If you can't remember what they were, maybe there's some records somewhere else.
That's a really good idea.
Nana didn't happen to keep just a journal of all her strange events, did she?
Not that you found.
All
If
right.
she did, it was like most journals, probably private.
Right, of course. Well, maybe we can try hunting down old newspapers or something. I'm sure nothing would say. I'm sure we'll have to read between the lines on whatever events that they would have been recorded, but that might be something.
Mm-hmm.
I am sorry that you're not able to get better feelings from these explorations of your memory. But what do you want to do about it? Do you want to keep digging? And what do you want to do with what you know now? What you feel?
Well, I know there's still answers that could be found. So I want to keep searching for answers until I can't. As for what is here now, I want to feel it because I want it to be a motivation to not have to feel it again. I want to be able to remember how it felt so that I don't do things like this again.
Okay.
You guys sit for a little while longer at the kitchen table. Martha, how do you wake up and how long do you sleep?
She probably sleeps for just 4 hours or so, a few hours. Yeah, and she lays on her. She sleeps on her back. She sleeps with her hands on her side, and she's kind of closes. She opens her eyes whenever she's ready to wake up, and then she sits up.
What does she think about? What's the first thing she thinks about when she wakes up?
I think her first thought is of the question that Hektor asked her, which was something like, how did you find out about the supernatural? And that question that she dodged keeps playing in her head.
Okay. So as Martha sits up and thinks about this before rising to meet with the others, we go to outside of the Wake and Bake with Lucy holding 2 dogs on leashes who look at her quizzically, and it looks like they're going to bark, but they don't. They just kind of stare, open their mouths a little bit, tilt their heads, and then turn away and slowly walk, letting you lead them, giving you a slightly firm pull as you begin your way into Hush Hallows proper. And as you sit in silence at the kitchen table, Darlene and Hektor, Darlene, I think the answer kind of like in your thoughts of Hektor and your own thoughts of your setting, I think your thought of what was this thing going to do next, I think you realize it was trying to contact you. And that's where we'll end tonight.
Oh!
It's somehow worse.
We're just gonna stop asking questions, actually.
It's never a good idea.
Investigating doesn't ever bring us any closure.
More pain.
Just more pain. And
We're
more
just gonna
questions.
start
Just
going.
more questions, more trauma. So we're gonna start ignoring all of it.
Yeah,
We're gonna
just
leave
go.
like Hallows.
Just go.
We're gonna go.
And then in time that we need between the mysteries to rest up, we'll literally just sit in silence.
Yes.
Don't try to investigate. Don't ask any questions. Just sit in dark rooms and heal.
Yep.
The only
Real
questions
long
will be, do you want more tea?
Yeah,
And,
we're all
uh,
just
Dutch
sitting.
babies at.
And are you going to finish that?
Yeah.
Are the only
How much-
questions.
How much am I getting paid to walk these dogs? These are the important questions. That's it for this week in Hush Hallows. Everyone go ahead and say your name, where we can find you, and your favorite moment. Let's start with Maria.
Hello, I'm Maria. You can find me at Happy Capster everywhere the internet is old. I stream here on Twitch on Monday through Thursday these days on my own personal channel, as well as here and on Mythos Mystery Society, where we have a big old convention happening this weekend. Please come and watch all of our spooky, scary games. You can also find me at Society Goblins. They're on Twitter. We're branching out. We're starting the beginnings of a new project that's going to be a whiles down the road, but hopefully we'll be able to update you a bit more on that as it comes out. My favorite moment. That whole scene with Martha was very good. The impromptu therapy session. Martha's a gem. Martha's mysterious gem. And Hektor didn't realize how much he just needed to have somebody sit there and help him talk, because he hadn't really done a whole lot of that kind of talking. So well done.
That's me. Alexis.
Hey, that's me. I'm Alexis. You can find me at Foxmanato. I played Darlene this evening, and I think my favorite moment was, jeez. I just really loved Lucy saying, I don't think my sense of humor carries over onto this plane. Don't fuck with raccoons, essentially. Paraphrasing, obviously, but I loved that. That was fun. That gave me a good giggle. You can find me here on Dice Priori tomorrow, when we are going to be playing through Strike, as Matthew has talked about earlier, and probably will talk about a little bit more. But I'm going to be playing Carmilla, the vampire sword lesbian. So get ready for that. And also, you can find me here this Friday, where Emmett and I will be premiering as co-GMs, telling a story together along with Maria and Val of like witchy sisterhood and a grim, strange, fucked up world, as we use the Heart RPG in a game we're calling Hallowed Hearts. So please tune in for that this Friday at 7 p.m. Central. And stay tuned to our socials and our Discord for when we will be coming back with Grand Hag's Watch, and which movie we will be tearing to shreds next. And I think that's a good segue to Emma.
Hello, I am Emma. You can find me at MK Hansen on Twitter. You can find me here on Tuesdays. And you can also find me over at Mythos Mystery Society this weekend. As Maria said, there is a big old Mythos Con. So check our socials to see times for all of our spoopy games. They'll be happening Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And as Alexa said, be here Friday for the premiere of our Heart game, which it's grim and dramatic and spooky and great. So join us for that. It should be wonderful. My favorite moment from this evening was the it was the moment that Hektor first recalled the screams, and that kind of just stuck with him. That was the thing that stuck with him. I mean, how could it not? But there was a lot of Hektor history that was kind of dug up with that, and that was what really that stuck with me, and that was, I thought that was really a really good scene. That was a long-winded way of saying great job, you two. Excellent. Well done. Matthew.
Yes. Hi, folks. I am Matthew Foreman. You can find me at Matthew W. Foreman on Twitter. You can find me here on Twitch TV/Dice Priority. Check me out tomorrow when I run Tales of Gishari for using the strike system for these first two little sessions as we explore new systems for our main campaign, The Ghost in the Machine. My favorite moment... Gray Goop was pretty cool. The gray brain matter that came out of Hektor, that was pretty dope. Really grossed me out, and I was like, okay, gotta throw this away. Also, for Martha, when Hektor said, basically that, like, whenever Hektor said, can I come back and, like, do this again and, like, get more help, that was important for Martha because she hasn't been in practice in a few years, and she wasn't sure it would work out okay. So, yeah, good stuff. Go ahead there, Ty.
We'll do the end of session moves before I do my thing. Did we conclude the current mystery? No. Did we save someone from... never, never, ever. Did we save someone from certain death or worse? Not yet. Did we learn something new or important about the world? Probably. Mm-hmm. We for sure did. We learned stuff about Hektor. And that goes with the next one, too. Do you know something important about one of the hunters? Yeah, Hektor. And about the world, yes, a couple things.
Darlene learned
Darlene's
some shit, too.
Yeah. Darlene stuff and... some of the Hektor stuff too, both those. So 1 XP each for everyone.
Cool.
And I'm Ty. You can find me here. You can find me at Ballroom Brawler on Twitter. You can find me at Mythos Mystery Society. This weekend, as they said, we're playing a lot of different games. We're going to start off Friday with our second part of our Kids on Bikes trilogy. treated to trickery, which is all of us acting like junior high kids in the 90s, and it's going to be absolutely wild.
It's Ty acting like Ty.
You're correct. I'm GMing it, so it's me trying to wrangle in 6 other people acting like 12-year-olds, which is wild. If you want to catch up, the first episode, Home for the Holidays, is up on YouTube and podcast, as it is a direct sequel to that. My favorite moment from tonight. I think probably the way Hektor's kind of foray back into his mind was not necessarily exactly what you guys needed for this mystery, but was interesting information and good. I liked that scene between Martha and Hektor a lot. And Darlene's research was yielding interesting results as well. I liked both those avenues that I didn't really expect, but enjoyed. That's it for this week. Please join us next week for episode 20 of Hush Hallows. Maybe you'll conclude this current mystery, but probably not.
No chance. Okay, folks, we're actually going to go ahead and raid Hunter's Entertainment. We usually don't raid. They're a bit of a bigger stream. We don't usually do that, but we're going to go ahead and do this because they are running Outbreak, and they actually designed Outbreak, ? And that's actually what we're going to be running Monday the 26th. So let's go ahead and check out what Outbreak is like. Go show them some love, and we will be back for Hush Hallows next Tuesday, and check out Strike tomorrow. And be sure to join our Discord, all that good stuff. Be sure to support Dice Priority as we continue to bring tabletop content. Thank you so much, and go show Hunter's Entertainment some love. Bye-bye.